Alright, guys. I'm realizing I'm the kind of guy that says, alright, guys. That starts videos and announcements, whatever, with, alright, guys. Something about it is very fun to me. I'm not gonna stop. Uh, give me 1 sec so I can have a sip of my water. Fuck, I said, like, I would have a glass of water going forward. So that it's way less annoying, hopefully. Wait. Hang on, actually. Wait, I'll have one sip. And now I'll get a glass. Give me 1 sec. See, I'm realizing a lot of you are going to be listening to these backwards. So you're not gonna... When you're listening to this, you're not gonna understand what, like, when did I say that I'm gonna get a glass? I think I said it in the... Either in the Sony thing or the Mac thing, I'm not sure. But yeah, got my glass. Gonna pour some water in. Oh my god, that's awesome. Alright, I'm ready. So, the thing is, this is probably not as big a deal as I would like it to be. I was like very surprised and almost kind of shocked that I did not see a lot of people actually talk about this. And by this, I mean the newly announced Nintendo Game Builder Garage, I think is what they're calling it. It's basically visual programming software for the Switch. It's like visual programming that lets you build games. We don't really know the full extent of it yet. They only showed the first trailer, had like a big blog post about it. And we saw like a bunch of examples. There's like very basic asset creation as well. You can kind of like the old WarioWare thing. You can like draw pixel art and stuff with it. And then there's like, I'm assuming just like pre-made models. I doubt it like comes with actual modeling tools, like Dreams, for example. And what's really unique and special and noteworthy about it to me is that largely two things, and those two things are related. It's that, number one, they keep using the word programming in their messaging and their language and whatever. And they keep saying, oh, this is a great way to learn how to make games. This is a great place to start. Maybe I should pull up some actual literal quotes to back up what I'm saying. But yeah, like that kind of language is just not what you would expect usually, right? Like, I mean, literally, like, again, the most obvious point of comparison is Dreams, right? And with Dreams, they try to make it sound so romantic and like so magical, and like you get like it's in the name, right? It's you're supposed to be dreams. It's supposed to enable your dreams. Except you're locked into Sony's ecosystem and you can't actually sell those things and you can't do anything with it, really. As powerful as a tool as that is, and like, it's not... I haven't used Dreams, but it seemed like, you know, a lot of the tools and the skills that you're using and that you're learning in Dreams are very specifically applicable to that thing, right? It didn't seem like you could actually take that shit and apply it in like a different engine. And that's really what I want to talk about, right? Like, as a developer, who does not have like a programming background, and who's like also struggling to get my ideas into form, right? Obviously for someone like me, for us designers, it's a huge consideration of the industry that they're trying to make it easier and easier to just put ideas onto the screen, right? To reduce the amount of coding that is actually necessary. So what visual programming means is like, you drag and drop, right? You use menus, you use sort of predefined selections and stuff, right? And you see that in the trailer for Game Builder Garage, where you're connecting nodes from different menus to each other, and like those individual menus, they already have like predefined options that you can tweak. And yeah, some of you may know this already, but like it's super fucking similar to Unreal. Like it looks so much like the blueprint system in Unreal Engine. And yeah, I just remember all the marketing around the Unreal Engine was always like, yeah, we're trying to reduce the amount of programming. I think I'm not sure if I've talked about this before, but yeah, oh yeah, I talked about this a little bit in the banana thing, where we used Unreal because our programmer was not actually, his main specialization was not programming, and he also wanted to reduce the amount of coding that was necessary. So we did a lot of it with just the blueprint system in Unreal, right? So from that perspective, it's already actually a lot easier to use than Unity. The coding language, C++ in Unreal, is a lot harder than C#, which Unity uses. And Unity obviously was free for way longer. So there's way more tutorials and stuff for it. But I think in the long run, in the long term, Unreal is gonna be it, right? Unreal is gonna be the one to learn, and the one that's way more accessible. And I think, yeah, Nintendo are obviously very cognizant of that, right? And like, it just makes me wonder. Like, let me pull up the thing. Where is it? With your new power-up, you just might look at the video games and apps you enjoy every day in a different way. Continue learning to power yourself up even further. Game Builder Garage helps you understand the basics of visual programming in a fun, memorable way. Right? It's not... Their goal is clearly not to keep you in their walled garden. Their goal is not to get you to just make shitty little games in like their little ecosystem that you can't do anything with. They're very literally saying, yeah, you should take those skills and take them somewhere else as well. Programming made fun. Have you ever dreamed of building your own video games? The Game Builder Garage software is a great place to start. Anyone can learn the basics of game design and visual programming with step-by-step lessons created by the minds at Nintendo. Like this phrasing especially stuck out to me a lot. The minds at Nintendo. Clearly Nintendo, they know that they're just the kings. They're the gods, right? Like no one can touch them. They know they have to be aware that like everyone is using their stuff as like examples and videos and game design lessons, right? They have to be aware that 1-1 in Mario is like the most overanalyzed fucking thing ever. So they're clearly leveraging that status, right? They're leveraging that responsibility almost with this. I just really wonder, like is it like is what they're doing like really sort of this like what's the word I'm looking for? Altruistic. That was the word. Altruistic. Is it an altruistic thing? Yeah? Are they doing it sort of for the overall health of the industry? Are they... Like, that's the thing. If you think about it from a business perspective, this sort of thing, if you're trying to, like, train people to understand games better and to maybe eventually want to become developers, right? Like, it doesn't benefit your business so directly, right? It benefits the health of the industry, so long term it does benefit you, kind of. But really, it's not... It does not benefit you directly, right? Like... So, are they doing this out of, like, an altruistic kind of motivation? That's super fucking fascinating to me. Like, I would love to know what you guys think about it. again, maybe that's the thing. Like, I didn't really see a lot of people on my timeline talk about it. Not a lot of articles about it. I think a lot of people just are not realizing yet what a big deal this could be. Um, and you know, it kind of made me think. This is kind of a little bit of a tangent, but it's related, and I kind of want to talk about it. Just that there's, I think people still have like weird ideas about like what an engine is and like how to even make games and like, people like love to romanticize the idea of like making your own engine, quote unquote. Like I just saw this from gamers so fucking much that like they just love talking about the RE engine even though they don't even fucking understand what it means and like what it is, right? And why it's necessary and why it's good. They just know, oh, games look really good. Whatever. It's like you have to consider if you make your own engine, you have to train people using that engine, right? Even just again, you have the difference between Unity and Unreal. Because Unreal uses C++ and because Unity uses C#, like you can't. There's a lot of stuff that you can't translate one-to-one between the two, right? In terms of just coding, and then obviously the interface is completely different. So if you can make a game in Unity, it doesn't actually mean that you can make a game in Unreal as well, you know? Or vice versa, even. Like, fuck, I forgot my own rule again with the water, sorry. This probably sounds really nice on the microphone, right? Just the water pouring in. Again, like with our example, Banana, we could not have made that game probably in Unity with the resources and the skills that we had. I think that's just, I think people, they very strictly think about an engine as like, oh, it's the thing that you make the game and whatever, it's like a tool, right? But they don't think about like the resources involved and what those tools can actually do and how those tools need to fit both your skill set and your resources and also the game you're building, right? And then maybe to a certain extent you're shaping the game around the tool that you're using, and you know, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you can obviously, if you make your own engine, you're shaping the tool around the game that you want to make, right? So the motivation to make your own engine is I mean, yeah, a while back, a lot of studios and publishers, whatever, were obsessed with that idea because they realized, oh shit, we can sell our engine, right? We can license it. But I mean, clearly we look at the industry now, and like, I mean, only really Unreal has prevailed in that space. So clearly that's not really consideration anymore for most devs. For most devs that make their own engines, it's really just because they have very specific requirements. They need very specific things that they can't get from Unreal, for example. And like, I just remember when they, I'm sure I've talked about this before, but like, I just remember when Epic, they released like a trailer for Unreal Engine 5, sort of announcing its new features, blah. And then I just saw a lot of people on my timeline on Twitter say, oh, this is so boring. It's just, oh, graphics, oh, whatever. Like, who cares? And I think people don't understand that the point of Unreal is not even graphics. It's that it's the easiest thing to use for, like, the most common applications, you know? That's why it has value. It's the, like, if you want to build... games are so built on very well-known and well-used tropes and traditions and ideas that are just kind of iterated on differently every time. And you need a tool for that. You know, you need a tool that can handle all of that in a very streamlined way, and that's what Unreal is. That's what Unity is. And I think that's what people really need to understand. And yeah, like the reason you would build something like the RE engine is because you just want to make a very specific kind of game, and you're not getting those features from something like Unreal. Like, you're already, I mean, really obvious limitation with the RE engine. Clearly, it can run on the Switch without heavy adaptations, right? Like we have the Ghosts and Goblins game now, and we have Monster Hunter, obviously. But there were rumors that they were trying to bring the Resident Evil games to the Switch, and it just was not working, right? If they don't already sort of build it from the ground up for that platform, then the engine can't just magically do it, right? Whereas with Unreal, that's pretty easy, actually. Obviously, a lot of those Unreal Switch games are very low resolution, blah blah. They feel compromised. But it was very much you press one button, it was there, right? Obviously, I'm simplifying a lot here, but that's the strength of that engine, right? And like otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do that. And if that's something you need, if that's the multi-platform support, then that's another reason to go for it, right? Whereas with Capcom, for example, I assume what they needed is they needed something that could do VR, that could do very high performance. Yeah, that's basically it, right? Like they wanted something, and like I mean, even those two things are like pretty closely related, right? The main thing you need for VR is fast performance. And yeah, that's why you look at the RE engine, and like you look at Resident Evil Village, right? And the world, when you're outside, when you look at the grass and stuff, it doesn't actually look that dynamic, you know? It looks a little bit static, like the shading around the fucking around the grass is like not super it doesn't really have that tangible kind of sense of depth, you know? It feels a little bit flat. Everything feels a little bit pre-baked, not very, you know, what's like a good opposite example that recently came out? I don't know. Like, I mean, you look at like a Naughty Dog game, right? Like, you look at just sort of the way the grass moves and like the way everything is shaded. Like, it feels the world feels a little more tangible. But obviously they don't run nearly as good as RE Engine. And that was just a way more important consideration for Capcom, I assume. And like just for the kinds of games, like gamey, action-y kind of games. I'm sure they just have, like, I'm sure the RE Engine just has limitations that we're not even really aware of yet. I know, I mean, empty framework. Like, we always think of it as, like, this godlike engine. But you look at Dragon's Dogma and just how much they had to, like, how many cuts they had to make to basically make an open world game on that engine. Clearly something that the you know, tools were just not really designed for, right? That the system was not designed to handle. I think it's really interesting, like, if you think about, like, how engines are going to factor in faster SSD speeds and all this shit. I'm very, very curious to see that sort of thing. Yeah. Is that all I wanted to say on that? I don't know. I'm definitely gonna get Game Boy Garage. I don't. That's the thing. I wouldn't get it with the intent of, oh, I'm gonna make my magnum opus with that game, right? With the software. It's more like, no, you want to have an easy lead-in, I guess, into the subject, right? Into the just idea of working with an engine and visual programming in general. And I think I mentioned that I want to make meaningful progress on like my first solo game this year. And from that perspective, just having this kind of organic tutorial, right, would be very helpful. I think I just obviously I would have to learn a real engine eventually, right? I can't get around that. But just having that nice little appetizing course, I guess, I think is gonna be very helpful and very fun. And I think it's like it might make a lot of people realize that, hey, it's like not as hard as you think it is. And yeah, I guess that's the whole thing about it, right? That like the whole interface is not, it doesn't look like a level editor, you know, like a random fucking whatever tool that you know, they just put in a random game, right? It looks like an actual engine. It has windows. It's visual programming, you know. I think that's very cool, and like it makes me wonder. Again, going back to sort of the minds at Nintendo thing. It makes me wonder whether it's something that other designers and engine makers are going to look at, you know? If they're going to sort of think, huh, maybe this is how we can teach people to use our engine, you know? Maybe this is a good way to do it. Unreal already has sort of a built-in kind of teaching course, but I haven't had like an opportunity to actually use it. Like, it's weird. Like when you're going into the engine with like the idea of making the game, you don't really plan to like invest the time for this whole fucking unrelated teaching course first, right up front. I guess I need to just carve out like a block of time for that sort of thing to just really learn an engine at some point. I really wonder just how far can I get right now without coding. But coding itself, maybe that'd be a topic for another video, but like, fuck man, like, that just seems like such a fucking insurmountable task for me right now. Yeah, let me know what you think. Am I like overestimating the importance of Game Builder Garage? Am I putting too much faith in it? Am I misrepresenting Nintendo's motives? Is Nintendo also just a big evil corporation? I don't know. Let me know. Post in the comments. Like. I said comment like 3 times, right? Like, subscribe. Send a letter to my PO box about how much you love me. Goodbye.